Guys, turbos are like one of my favorite things put on the entire planet by the one and only God. But is a turbo for you? There's a lot of pros, a lot of cons. Let's jump right into it.
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie. You don't know.
All right, guys,
the law.
welcome back
Pedal
to
the
another
metal,
episode
you
of
ain't
Let's
catching
Assess.
me.
So today in the one and only beautiful podcast studio, my garage, it is just me today. AJ's still on his trophy hunt, stalking some big bulls right now. So I figured with snow coming down in Colorado and, snowmobile season kind of upon us, I'd do shoot a little snowmobile episode while AJ was away. And this topic is super fun. I've been getting a lot of questions on this. People are kind of starting to think about what sled they're going to ride, what mods they're going to make for this upcoming season. And one of the biggest and most talked about mods, obviously, in this day and age is the turbocharger. So let's jump right into it and talk about it. There's a lot of pros and cons, but I kind of want to just talk about first, why would you go with a turbocharger or a turboed sled? And this can kind of apply to a supercharger as well. I don't have any experience on superchargers, but I know quite a few Arctic Cat guys are running superchargers now. I prefer the turbocharger. I love them, and I've spent a lot of time on them. So to start this off, I've rode stock sleds for many, many years, and now I've rode boost sleds for many, many years. I've rode aftermarket turbos. I've rode factory turbos, tuned turbos, stock turbos, everything. So I can kind of give you an idea. But first, let's just jump into why should you consider a turbo. Obviously, the first thing is the fun factor. I mean, having that much more power is a huge deal. It makes everything easier or harder, I guess. But you can just get into some more technical terrain. You can be doing better re-entries, pulling wheelies longer. It's just so much more fun. Everything is on a turbo. There's some downsides. A lot of guys that jump a lot don't like turbos. Obviously, they add weight to the sled. They add a little bit of unpredictable power band, if you will. Coming into jump, sometimes you'll hit boost or whatever, what have you. So a lot of the jumping guys, the guys that just focus on jumping or more on jumping, they'll run naturally aspirated sleds because of that and the durability thing. But anyway, turbocharge is such a big deal, especially where we ride. When you're riding at 11,000 feet, a huge chunk of your horsepower is gone. So I just want to start by saying that if you guys are at sea level, having a turbocharger is not as big of a deal as a guy that's riding it, say 10,000 plus feet. And to speak on that, riding all the different manufacturers of turbos, when Ski-Doo came out with their first factory turbo, it was like 3 pounds of boost. And so what that was basically doing is it was compensating for your power loss at elevation. So that 3 pounds was what they said was it was just making it where when you went up to that 10,000 feet mark or 11, you were basically running sea level power. So that is a huge difference. Even jumping on an NA sled at 10,000 feet and then going to 3 pounds, it is quite a bit of difference, and it's a lot of fun. So guys that are riding at elevation, you want to consider a turbocharger, in my opinion. Guys that are just looking for more fun, guys, I don't think everyone should be on a turbo, though. I think there's a couple things, and I'll jump into this. I just want to give you kind of a broad overview of what I'm going to talk about. But I think there's a couple things of why people shouldn't buy turbochargers. One is they're not ready skill-wise. So if you're a beginner and you're just learning the sport, I think a turbocharger in the grand scheme of time can actually kind of hurt your riding because you build bad habits. And even me riding a turbocharger every day, you kind of slouch on your technique, on what you should be doing when it comes to momentum and everything like that. And so if you guys are beginning, learning to ride, getting the technique down, I would definitely recommend staying away from a turbocharger. It can also get you into a lot of trouble. And what I mean by that is you're going a lot faster. You have a lot more power. The sled tends to flip over backwards a lot faster, and everything is just coming at you faster. I remember when I went from an NA sled to a turbocharged sled, and I was just going through trees watching GoPro footage, and even when I was actually riding the trees, I was like, oh my Lord, like things are coming way faster. I'm having to pick lines and make decisions way faster. And so for that reason, I just think that if you're learning, it kind of stunts your growth, if you will, on kind of your progression of where if you had your technique down and then you added a turbocharger, then you kind of get the best of both worlds. So if you're just beginning, I would say stay clear of them. The other thing is, I would say if you're on a budget, you know, suspension is something that's a huge deal. I'm learning more and more, and I'm believing more and more. I think maybe dumping some money in suspension and just making sure your sled is clutched right and stuff like that with an NA sled is a big deal, and you don't necessarily need a supercharger. So that's what I'd say. If you're a beginner or kind of not fully confident on sled yet, I would say steer clear from, you know, the turbocharged world. Or if you're on a budget, there's a lot of things. I mean, everyone's on a budget of some sort unless you're Chris Brandt, but I think that, you know, if you're given $5,000 to dump into a sled, maybe you can, when it comes to actually riding and enjoying the sled, I think there are a few things you can put on the sled that would benefit you, maybe more than a turbocharger. Suspension is a big deal now. So, okay. So I've rode all manufacturers, so I kind of want to get into that, the aftermarket versus the factory. Let's see. Okay. So what it allows you to do with a turbocharger now, with people, instead of just trying to like ride the mountains conservatively and get around to sightsee, it is turned into like a crazy, you know, highlight fest. And what I mean by that is you're trying to pull the biggest wheelies, the biggest bow ties, everything like that. So obviously having a turbocharged sled is a big deal for that. And not only that, something that's equally as important I found is having a cut tunnel. I was running a Boondocker Sidekick tunnel dump turbo on an Axis that had just a normal length tunnel, and it was great. It had a ton of power, but when it came to bow ties and everything like that, it wasn't near as good as having, for me, it wasn't near as good as having a stock sled with a cut tunnel. That allowed me to, I mean, you got to think that track is spinning in the snow the entire time that you're up in the air, your skis are up in the air. And so that allows you to get that kick on bow ties. It allows you to trench deeper. And so it's just, the cut tunnel thing and suspension are two that I would definitely say are must-haves. The turbocharger is just the icing on the cake. So I would say if you're trying to create Instagram highlights, do stuff like that, turbocharger is a big deal. The other thing is just like getting into zones that, I mean, maybe you ride with a bunch of guys that have stock sleds, but maybe they're younger than you, or they're in better shape, or they're better riders. Having a turbo to kind of compensate for your lack of skill can help. And, but like I said, I think you should get your skills to as high as you can and then get a turbocharger. I want to keep this somewhat quick, but who is a turbocharged sled for? I think it's for a guy that is looking to push the limit and have the absolute most fun. And with that comes pitching out the most money, because as you guys probably know, if you're looking into turbos, they are expensive. So, and within that makes me, you know, go to another point of, should you go aftermarket on your sled, or should you step up to maybe a whole new sled with a factory turbo? I was just talking to a buddy. I think that in most cases, putting an aftermarket turbo on, say, a Polaris or Ski-Doo or Lynx or whatever, it really financially doesn't make any sense, because you sit and you think about it, you say, okay, you pay 15 to 17-ish for a stock sled, and then you pay $5,500 for, say, like a Boondocker agility kit, and then, you know, you get it clutched, you tune it, everything like that. You're at what could have been a factory turbo, and on top of that, you don't get any factory warranty. Then when you go to sell that sled, you're going to get less for it, because it's just people don't want that anymore. They want the factory sled that they know has been built right by one of the manufacturers, or hopefully built right. And so I think it's a better thing to just go in and buy a factory turbo. I hate to say it, but I think that's your best bet now. And then I think on top of that, something to think about if you do buy a turbo is tuning. So you guys know I'm a big fan of Voke. Voke tuning. They have, for that guy that's just getting into a turbo, I don't think you need to run an avgas, intercooled tune. But I think that running something from them, and you can call them, you can go on their website, Voke in Kremlin, Colorado. If you go with something like even the pump gas tune, where it's just tuned better to free your sled from debts and weird stuff like that, I think that's very beneficial. And then if you're a guy that's like maybe been on a turbo for a couple years, step up to their avgas tune. If you have access to avgas, like we have an airport right here, so we can get jet fuel there, or avgas, I guess 100 LL. That'll take you up a ton of power, and it just runs way better, has way better low end. I would just definitely recommend that. Oh. And then if you're like, well, I think I need even more power than that, then I would recommend, and I'm going to dabble into this world this year, I think, going the avgas intercooled route from Voke. And so that way you can pump even more power, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it all comes down to fun. Guys on stock sleds, if you know what you're doing, you can, in my opinion, you can get everywhere that a guy on a turbo can. You just have to try a little harder or know what you're doing, carry more momentum. But those tunes will allow you to have better runnability. With my brother having a stock factory turbo untuned, he was having constant debts, constant codes. And then with me running a Voke tune on avgas, it was completely flawless. So I would just recommend, those guys know what they're doing. Eric's awesome over there. And if you guys have any questions, any of his guys can hook you up. So I'd recommend doing that. So that's kind of my general thoughts on the turbo world. I get a lot of questions about maintenance. It used to be with turbos, there was some unreliability kind of stuff going on. And a lot of what I had when I was running an aftermarket, and this was partly because, well, hold on. So when I was running an aftermarket turbo, I was blowing belts like every 3 rides. Wide open pulls, I'd blow belts and everything like that. My belt deflection was set perfect. It just, that much power was blowing the belts. When Polaris went to, like on my sled here, or there, it has automatic belt deflection things on it, so it always keeps that belt at the right tension. And when they did that, knock on wood, I haven't blown one belt. So I've changed them because they just get, kind of worn down and stuff and don't bite as well. But though that used to be a concern, I don't really feel like that's a concern now. I just feel like the turbo world has advanced so much with the factory turbos. The last thing that I was going to talk about, I know I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to get this in quick for you guys so you don't have to sit here and listen to a bunch of BS. The kind of the BRP versus the Polaris factory turbo side of things. I get a lot of questions on that. Being completely honest, I think that the BRP side of things, out of the crate, that turbo and that engine has more low end and more grunt. And then I think the Polaris, it might hit a little harder in the top, but with the affordable prices of like some of the tunes and stuff, running the Polaris turbo on that tune, it has, well, here's the story. I was running a Lynx because my Polaris I broke it and waiting on parts. So I was running a Lynx for a long time, and I'm like, this thing's strong. This power's really strong. Then I got back on the Chaos boost and ran it for a while, and then I tuned it. And then when it was up and running, which it was the rest of the season, no, I didn't break it. I was waiting for my new snow check. So I'd sold my last snow check, waiting for my new snow check. So I was riding a Lynx turbo in between, which is right there. I got kind of used to that power. So when I went back to the factory Polaris, I'm like, dang, dude, this thing's kind of weak, honestly. Down low, it just doesn't have that pull. And so then I had Voke do their thing to it. And I'm like, dang, this thing's really strong. But I didn't realize how strong it was. So then I got back on the Lynx for a ride because my brother was riding mine. And I could not believe how much more power that the tuned Polaris had over the Lynx. And so it's just one of those things. I would go with the chassis that you like and then worry about the power and runnability of it later, because there are so many aftermarket companies that can kind of get you hooked up with that. I think the chassis is really hard to overcome. If you're a Polaris guy, you're probably not going to be comfortable on a Ski-Doo or Lynx. And if you're, a BRP guy, Lynx and Ski-Doo, you're probably not going to be that comfortable on a Polaris unless you really want to switch. So I would go with what you like in the chassis, and then kind of figure out, power and runnability from there, because it's not hard anymore. So those are just kind of my thoughts. I know I'm all over the place, but if you guys have any questions, hit me up. Follow us on Cook Bros on Instagram. And until next time.